Here's how to make 500 horsepower on your S550 Mustang GTs. Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Today we're going to be talking about how to make 500 horsepower on your Mustang GT, specifically the Gen 3 Coyotes with the 10-speed transmission. I own a 2019 Mustang GT and I've gone through all the mods to kind of get it there. So I'm going to be breaking it down how to make the 500 horsepower mark on your Mustang GTs with the Gen 3 Coyote. These cars come with about 460 horsepower stock, so we're going to be bumping up to 500. Now I do want to clarify, I mean 500 crank horsepower, not wheel horsepower, because 500 wheel horsepower takes pretty much max NA effort, and at that point you're probably better off just going the boost route instead of spending all that money on NA route. So let's talk about how you can make 500 crank horsepower on your Gen 3 Coyote motor. There's 3 different ways that you can make this, and each have their own pros and cons that I'm going to highlight. I'm also going to talk about how much it's going to cost you and some inconveniences you're going to be experiencing by running these setups. With that being said, let's dive right into the video. Alright, so let's talk about the number one way you can make 500 horsepower in your Mustang GT, and that is going to be the most expensive way you can make this happen. That is going to be long tube headers and a 93 octane tune. So long tube headers is good for about 25 to 30 crank horsepower, depending on which ones you get. It'll cost you about $1,500 for a decent set of headers. You can of course spend $3,000 on cooks, or get some of the no-name eBay headers for less than $1,000. I personally don't recommend those, but all of them are gonna pretty much net you around 25 to 30 crank horsepower. And then once you pair it with the 93 octane tune, which in itself is good for another 20 crank horsepower, you're going to be above 500 horsepower, like around 505, even if you take the conservative estimate of 20 horsepower from the 93 tune and about 25 horsepower from the long tube headers. Now the cost of a tune depends if you have the device or not, but typically let's assume you have the device, you'll spend about $500 to get the naturally aspirated tune, including the credits. So right around $2,000 just for parts alone, you have about 500 crank horsepower. Now it is worth noting that the headers installation on the S550 Mustang is just a pain. And if you're gonna pay someone to do it, they are gonna charge you a pretty penny. Average around here is about $700 to $800. So once you combine the cost of the headers, the installation, you're at like $2,200 to $2,300. Then you look at the tune, so right around $2,700 to $2,800 will be your total to be able to get 500 crank horsepower. In my opinion, that's a little bit too expensive for what you get. You're pretty much halfway there for boost cost. Now let's talk about the second option you can do that, and that is going to be still getting the 93 octane tune, so you get about 20 crank horsepower or so. And then you're gonna get a colder intake. And I don't mean any colder intake. I mean, there's a JLT colder intake, Roush colder intake. All of those ones are actually gonna raw power because the 2018 and up intakes are pretty good from the factory, and you really don't need a colder intake. However, if you get the PMAS fender well intake, that is worth having because you're not drawing the hot air from the engine bay. It's actually in the fender well, so it sucks in all the cold air and actually does what it's supposed to do. So it is truly a cold air intake. It will get you about 20 crank horsepower, which puts you right at 500 horsepower. Now, the cost of the setup, we still got about $500 for the tune and about $450 or so for the intake. So right around $1,000. It's a lot cheaper than the long tube headers, but the downside with this is that you're going to potentially encounter issues if you live somewhere where it rains a lot. Because the intake is actually at the fender well and it's mounted there, it could take in some air, which means you could have some issues with the car. And so it really depends on your environment. If you live in a place or you don't drive your car when it rains heavily, then you'll be fine. But if you do have to daily drive your car, then you have to be careful with that. But I mean, it is a lot cheaper than going to the long tube headers route. Now, third one and the last one, which is personally what I did, and is also the cheapest way you can get to the 500 crank horsepower, is going to be E85 tune. And I put this one last because not everyone has E85 near them, or at least good quality E85. So I don't want to assume that you've got E85 near you, but if you do, this is probably the cheapest way you can make 500 crank horsepower. And that's exactly what I did because I have E85 available near me that tests very consistently around E80 or so. Because the 93 tune will add about 20 crank horsepower or so, and the E85 on top of that actually has another 20 to 25 crank horsepower. But even if you're conservative and let's just go with the estimate of 20 crank horsepower, you're right at 500. And the best part is to get the E85 tune for most tuners, If you already have their base 93 octane file, you spend about $250 or so to get the E85 tune file. And with about $750, you have a car that runs an E85 and makes 500 crank horsepower. And that to me is the cheapest way you can make 500 horsepower on your Mustang GT. A lot of people like to do long tube headers, but the cost of it is just way too much. And me personally, if I'm gonna spend that much money, I'd rather save it for boost application. Especially if it's your, and honestly, if it's just your daily driver, it doesn't make sense because long tube headers are extremely loud. So unless you have the active exhaust, you can tone it down. But no one wants to spend $3,000 just to get 40 more horsepower, because in the end, the 5.0s are naturally aspirated, so it's a little bit difficult to squeeze power out of them. So the best route is definitely get a 93 octane and E85. But if you don't have E85 near you, I would probably go for an intake, not a JLT, not a Air Raid, Roush, or any of those typical Kohler intakes you see, because they actually draw hot air from the engine bay. But you want to get the PMAS fender well intake, which will get you there for about $1,000 or so, including the tune. So you have 500 horsepower. The reality is 500 horsepower pretty much gets you close to what the Dark Horse makes or the Shelby GT350 makes. So you'll be able to hang with the Dark Horse because it has 500 horsepower crank. Shelby does have a little bit more horsepower, but it is a stick shift. So with the 10 speed, you have a huge advantage. So in this day, 500 doesn't sound like all that much, but honestly, 500 for a street-driven car is insane. Now, of course, if you go to drag strip a lot or track your car, you may want to get a faster car and maybe do more mods in the Mustang to get it to like 600-700. And to me, the best route, because even if you go full max NA setup, you'll get to low 500s at the wheels, versus if you just started off with boost, you'll probably spend about the same money, if not a little bit less actually, and you'll be right around 600 to 650 wheel horsepower on a low boost setting. And these Coyote motors can easily hold up to 750 horsepower without blowing up. So the reliability won't really be compromised. I almost feel like if you're going max NA setup, especially if you do Cobra Jet, cams, and all of that stuff, you're going to sacrifice reliability a lot more than you will with a simple boost setup, especially if you get the ESS kit or Pro Charger, because they pretty much drive like stock when you're driving around town. So you're really not compromising that much. But yeah, guys, that's how you get to 500 horsepower on your 2018 and up Mustang GTs, especially if you've got the 10-speed transmission. It's going to be insanely fast. So yes, 500 horsepower is going to be plenty fast to keep up with modern cars. And honestly, once you tune the 10-speed transmission, it just shifts a lot better. So not only you will get a power bump, which you'll feel, you'll also get a better shifting transmission, which to me is a huge plus. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment below, what are your top mods on your S550 Mustang GT? And of course, subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.